JJ3K here, and this is the first upload in a new playlist I'm doing called Random Album Reviews. Basically, what I'm doing is I have this book, Rolling Stone's The 500 Greatest Albums of All Time. I'm going to enter number 1 through 500 into a random number generator. Whatever random number it generates, I'm going to go to that album in this book and I am going to review it. This is cool in a lot of ways. First off, I have a lot of time to kill for the near future. Second, I love to listen to music. Third, I love to, collect vinyl. It offers me an opportunity to possibly hear things I've never heard before. If I really like it, if I don't have it, I'll get it. Which brings me to my next point. Obviously, if I have that album, I'll listen to the album. If not, I'll stream it, and if it's something I really like, it'll be something that I'll end up getting. Which brings me to basically the rating system. The best rating is like, hey, I already have it. Next best is like, I have to get it now. Third is, they'll go on my to get list. And I guess the lowest rating would be, nah, man, I'm good. Something that I really don't need or really don't want to listen to or I didn't enjoy. Some of these records, that may be in this book, I may have, but I might not have listened to before, because some of the albums I picked up at garage sales and swap meets, and they were, multiples, like part of a set. Obviously, if it's something I really liked, there are albums that I specifically went after. So basically, once again, 1 through 500, pick a randomly generated number, and that's which album I will listen to. Let's go ahead and do that right now. All right. Looks like the number that was generated for me was number 316. That album was Pink Moon by Nick Drake. Real quick backgrounds of I've seen the album cover. I don't own the album. I have heard of Nick Drake. He's a British kind of folk musician from the 60s, and unfortunately passed away in the early 70s from a accidental drug overdose. You know, Typical, unfortunate thing, in music in general. A lot of depression, and unfortunately, that was Nick Drake's demise. But about the album, I listened to the album from front to back. Once again, Nick Drake is a folk artist. It's a very folky album. One of the things I noticed right out of the gate, it's just his vocals and his guitar. The title track, Pink Moon, did have a little bit of piano in it, but other than that, all 11 tracks, nothing but guitar, with that one except for that one exception. A lot of finger picking in the guitar. It's played with a lot of aggression. A lot of you can tell there's a lot of emotion in the delivery of the lyrics. His Nick Drake's voice is it's very soft. It's very soothing voice. Track one, once again, the title track, Pink Moon. That one, like I said, I'm not really familiar with Nick Drake and his work, but I heard that song before. I recognized it, vaguely distant. It's, I could definitely put, this album as a whole, and, I guess, this is my only experience of Nick Drake's music, but if his other music is anything like this, it's very folky, reminiscent of Cat Stevens, James Taylor, and a lot of the other singer songwriter folk artists of that time. Um, Once again, a lot of finger picking or picking in general sounds like finger picking, mixed with chords, soft voice, kind of like a soundtrack feel to it. That it's atmospheric. It could be playing in the background of a rom com or a dramedy, or it just it just has that very once again just motion picture kind of sound to it, if that makes sense, or soundtrack sound. Uh, Most of the songs, they sound in a similar style. A lot of finger picking and strumming, just guitar and vocals. You know, uh, Track two, Place to Be. Once again, folky guitar and vocals, soundtrack music. I'm kind of looking at my notes here. Track three, Road. Once again, guitar, finger picking, the cadence, and follow the music. You know, a song that remind me of traveling, and the way the lyrics rode the cadence rode the music. Um, Track four, Which Will. Once again, just a lot of guitar, a lot of finger picking, or picking in general. Very poetic track. Number five, Horn, kind of a instrumental interlude. Um, it definitely, this whole album, it was definitely, you tell, it was very personal, and it was these songs were put in a particular order, for a purpose. Um, Track six, Thing, Behind the Sun. The longest track on the album, really good track. Once again, all following the same formula. Um, Track seven, No. This one was more of a bluesy kind of, you know, the guitar was more of a bluesy riff. Kind of humming along to it good, as well. One of my favorite tracks on the album. Uh, Eight, more of the same, really. You know, just piano and vocals. You tell, once again, inspired by a lot of emotion. The playing was very good. The strumming was very good. The picking was very good. Um, Once again, plucked the strings very hard. Track nine, Free Ride. Uh, Probably my favorite on the album. Very good. Um, you tell he was kind of a doomed romantic. Once again, I'm reading my notes here. The album came out in 1972. Track 10, Harvest Breed. Another one of those quick, short, less than 2 minute interludes. Um, Track 11, From the Morning. Um, just emotional storytelling. Good at setting the setting. The whole album itself is only 28 minutes long. Um, my understanding, he recorded it in 2 days. Great voice, very, you know, great cadence with the lyrics. The album flows very nicely from front to back. Once again, ambient. You know, tells dealing with depression and insomnia. Um, I hear a lot of newer singer songwriters that I could tell are inspired by this. I read that Robert Smith of The Cure was inspired by, um, you know, Nick Drake, and I could definitely tell. Um, all in all, that was a very good album. Definitely something I could see, added to my collection. I'd rate it as of once again something that I could, put on the list of things to get. Um, it wasn't in any way groundbreaking in my opinion. Um, it wasn't something I haven't heard before. It was very good. It was done very, very well. Um, I would like to add this album to my collection, but it's not one of those things I have to run out and get right away, or order off of Amazon right away. Um, but all in all, I'd give it, you know, uh, it's one of those ones that I'll eventually have to get. Uh, Nick Drake, Pink Moon, uh, rock on. Thank you very much for watching my crappy upload. I really appreciate it. Please subscribe, and click on one of my other videos wherever it may be. Also, I have an old channel with like hundreds of uploads of random things. Please subscribe to it as well, wherever it may be. Thank you very much.